You've been praying. You've been believing. You've been waiting. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. Months turn into years. And still silence. Still waiting. Still no answer. Why doesn't God answer immediately? If He's all-powerful, why the delay? If He loves you, why the silence? If He can do anything, why isn't He doing this one thing you're desperately asking for? Today, we're going to talk about one of the most frustrating, faith-testing, heart-wrenching aspects of walking with God: the wait. The delay? The divine silence that feels like divine absence. But what if I told you that God's delay is not God's denial? What if the wait isn't punishment, it's preparation? What if His silence isn't absence, it's strategy? Stay with me, because by the end of this message, you're going to see your unanswered prayers in a completely different light. Let me start with a truth that might sting. If God answered every prayer immediately, you would never develop the kind of faith that moves mountains. You would never build the kind of trust that withstands storms. You would never cultivate the kind of character that sustains blessings. Immediate answers create dependent children. Delayed answers create mature sons and daughters. Think about it. When a child asks for something and receives it instantly every single time, what happens? They become entitled. They never learn patience. They never develop gratitude. They never understand the value of what they receive because they've never had to wait for it. But when a parent makes a child wait, not to be cruel, but to teach them, something powerful happens. The child learns patience. They develop appreciation. They understand that not everything comes instantly. They grow. God is not just answering prayers. He's raising children. He's not just meeting needs. He's maturing faith. He's not just giving gifts. He's developing character. James 1:2-4 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." The testing produces perseverance. The perseverance produces maturity. The maturity produces completeness. But you can't rush that process. You can't microwave maturity. You can't instant download character. God doesn't answer immediately because the wait is doing something in you that the answer alone could never do. The delay is building something in your character that instant gratification would never produce. The silence is strengthening your faith in ways that immediate response would never accomplish. If God gave you everything you asked for the moment you asked for it, you would trust the gift more than the giver. You would depend on the blessing more than the blesser. You would worship the answer more than the one who answers. But when you have to wait, when you have to press through, when you have to keep believing even when you can't see, you learn to trust God Himself, not just His provisions. You learn to worship Him for who He is, not just for what He gives. You learn that He is enough, even when the answer hasn't come yet. Here's something we often miss. God doesn't just answer prayers, He answers them at the perfect time. And the perfect time is rarely the time we choose. We pray for things we're not ready to receive. We ask for blessings we're not prepared to handle. We want promotions before we have the character to sustain them. We desire relationships before we have the wholeness to maintain them. We seek opportunities before we have the maturity to steward them. And God, in His infinite wisdom and love, says yes, but not yet. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, He has made everything beautiful in its time. Not in your time. Not in your timeline. In His time? Think about Lazarus. Jesus loved Lazarus. When Lazarus got sick, his sisters Mary and Martha sent word to Jesus, "Lord, the one you love is sick." They expected Jesus to drop everything and come immediately. But John 11:6 says something shocking. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. Jesus delayed intentionally. He didn't come immediately. And by the time he arrived, Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Translation: You're late. You didn't answer in time. But Jesus had a different perspective. He said, "I am the resurrection and the life." He wasn't late. He was right on time. Because if Jesus had come when they asked, he would have healed Lazarus. But because he waited, he resurrected Lazarus. Healing would have been a miracle. But resurrection was a revelation. Healing would have helped Lazarus. But resurrection revealed who Jesus really was. Sometimes God doesn't answer immediately because he wants to do something bigger than what you're asking for. Sometimes he delays because he's preparing a resurrection, not just a recovery. Sometimes he waits because he's planning a miracle that will blow your mind, not just meet your need. If he answered when you wanted, you would have received what you asked for. But because he's answering when he wants, you're going to receive something better than you imagined. God's delays are not denials. They're not punishments. They're not evidence that he doesn't care. They're proof that he cares too much to give you something prematurely that could harm you, or something small and he's preparing something great. Here's a hard truth. God doesn't answer immediately because the wait reveals what's really in your heart. It exposes your true motives. It shows whether you love God for who he is or for what he gives. When prayers are answered instantly, it's easy to praise. When blessings come quickly, it's easy to worship. When doors open immediately, it's easy to have faith. But what happens when the answer is delayed? What happens when heaven seems silent? What happens when you've been praying and believing and nothing has changed? That's when the real condition of your heart is revealed. Are you serving God because you love him, or because you want something from him? Are you worshiping because he's worthy, or because you're expecting something in return? Are you faithful because of who he is, or because of what he does? The story of Job shows us this perfectly. Satan told God that Job only served him because God blessed him. Take away his blessings, Satan said, and he will curse you to your face. So God allowed Job to go through a season of loss. Everything was taken away. His wealth, his children, his health. His prayers seemed unanswered. His suffering seemed endless. His friends accused him. His wife told him to curse God and die. But in Job 13:15, Job declared something powerful. Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him. Even if God never answers. Even if the blessing never comes. Even if the healing doesn't happen. Even if the breakthrough is delayed. Even if the promise seems dead. Yet will I hope in him. That's the kind of faith God is building in you through the wait. That's the kind of trust he's developing through the delay. That's the kind of character he's cultivating through the silence. The wait is not wasted. It's working. It's exposing superficial faith and producing authentic devotion. It's revealing conditional love and creating unconditional worship. It's stripping away what's fake and establishing what's real. God doesn't answer immediately because he's more interested in your character than your comfort. He cares more about your relationship with him than your request from him. He values your transformation more than your temporary satisfaction. Every great promise in Scripture came with a waiting period. Every significant calling included a season of delay. Every major breakthrough was preceded by a period of testing. Abraham waited 25 years for Isaac. Joseph waited 13 years from the dream to the fulfillment. Moses waited 40 years in the wilderness before leading Israel. David was anointed as king but waited years before wearing the crown. The Israelites waited 400 years in Egypt before deliverance came. God's promises are always yes and amen, but they're rarely immediate. There's always a process between the promise and the manifestation. And that process is purposeful. Habakkuk 2:2-3 says, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time, it speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it, it will certainly come and will not delay. Though it linger, wait for it." God is teaching you that His promises are certain, but His timing is sovereign. What He said will happen, but it will happen in His timing, not yours. The delay is part of the design. The wait is part of the plan. The process is just as important as the promise. Think about a seed. When you plant it, you don't see results immediately. You water it, you tend to it, you wait. And underneath the surface, where you can't see, something is happening. Roots are growing down before anything grows up. Foundation is being established before fruit appears. If you dug up the seed every day to check if it was growing, you would kill it. The process requires patience. The growth requires waiting. The harvest requires trust in the unseen work happening beneath the surface. That's what God is doing in your life right now. You can't see it yet, but He's working. You can't measure it yet, but He's moving. You can't feel it yet, but He's preparing. Underneath the surface of your circumstances, underneath the silence of heaven, underneath the delay of your answer, God is establishing roots, building foundation, and preparing a harvest. Romans 8:25 says, "But if we hope for what we do not yet have, we wait for it patiently." The waiting is teaching you patience. The delay is developing endurance. The process is producing perseverance. God doesn't answer immediately because He's teaching you to trust the process, not just celebrate the product. He's teaching you to believe in the unseen work, not just the visible results. He's teaching you that His timing is perfect, even when it doesn't feel prompt. Here's something most people miss. Your delay might not be about you. Sometimes God doesn't answer immediately because He's orchestrating circumstances, aligning people, and coordinating events that you know nothing about. Your breakthrough requires certain people to be in position. Your answered prayer requires certain doors to open. Your blessing requires certain seasons to change. Your miracle requires certain pieces to fall into place. And God, who sees the entire puzzle, is moving pieces you can't see to create the picture you're praying for. Think about Esther. She didn't know that her entire journey from orphan to queen was being orchestrated for one moment. She didn't know that the sleepless night the king had, the historical records he read, the favor she found, the position she held, all of it was being aligned for the moment she would save her people. The delays in her story weren't denials. They were divine alignments. God was positioning people, orchestrating events, and coordinating circumstances for a specific moment of deliverance. Your answered prayer might require someone you haven't met yet. Your breakthrough might need a connection that hasn't been made yet. Your blessing might depend on a door that hasn't opened yet. Your miracle might require a season that hasn't arrived yet. So God is working behind the scenes. He's moving people into position. He's opening doors you don't know about. He's preparing circumstances you can't see. He's aligning everything necessary for your answer to come forth in power, in abundance, in perfection. Ephesians 3:20 says God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. His power is at work, even when you can't see it, even when you can't feel it, even when it looks like nothing is happening. He's working all things together for your good. The delay isn't because God forgot about you. It's because He's coordinating everything for you. The wait isn't because He's ignoring your prayer. It's because He's arranging everything your prayer requires. When the answer finally comes, you'll look back and see how every delay was necessary. You'll recognize how every closed door led to the right door. You'll understand how every not yet was protecting you from not right. You'll realize that God's timing was perfect, even though it felt prolonged. Let me tell you something that will shift your perspective. Nobody writes songs about instant answers. Nobody preaches sermons about immediate blessings. Nobody stands in front of crowds with tears in their eyes talking about how God answered their prayer right away. The testimonies that change lives, the stories that inspire faith, the messages that encourage others, they all come from the wait. They come from the delay. They come from the seasons where you had to trust God when you couldn't see, believe when it seemed impossible, and worship when there was no evidence. Your delay is creating your testimony. Your wait is writing your story. Your silence from heaven is setting up your song of praise. If Hannah had gotten pregnant immediately, we wouldn't have the testimony of her persistent prayer. We wouldn't have the story of how her pain drove her to the altar. We wouldn't have the example of how she poured out her heart before God and how God remembered her. But because she waited, because she endured years of mockery and disappointment, because she kept praying when it seemed hopeless, her story has encouraged millions of people for thousands of years. Her son Samuel became a prophet. Her prayer became a model. Her testimony became timeless. If the Red Sea had opened before the Israelites got there, it would have been convenient but not miraculous. But because they arrived at the sea with Pharaoh's army behind them, with no visible way of escape, with fear rising and faith being tested when God opened the sea, it became a testimony that has echoed through generations. The wait makes the testimony powerful. The delay makes the deliverance more dramatic. The silence makes the answer more significant. Psalm 42:1-3 says, I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see and fear the Lord and put their trust in Him. Notice the process: waiting, crying, being lifted, being established, receiving a new song, and then many seeing and trusting God because of the testimony. Your wait is not just about you. Your delay is not only for your development. Your testimony is being prepared to impact others. Your story is being written to encourage someone else who's in their own waiting season. God doesn't answer immediately because He's not just answering your prayer, He's creating a testimony that will point others to Him. He's not just giving you a breakthrough, He's preparing a message that will break chains for others. He's not just delivering you, He's developing a story that will demonstrate His faithfulness to generations. Now here's your hope. Here's what you need to hold on to. Here's what will sustain you through the wait. The answer is coming. God has not forgotten your prayer. He has not ignored your petition. He has not overlooked your need. He has not abandoned your request. Isaiah 49:15-16 says, Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has borne? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. You are engraved on the palms of His hands. Your prayer is not lost. Your need is not ignored. Your situation is not forgotten. Psalm 27:14 encourages, Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart, and wait for the Lord. The repetition of wait for the Lord is intentional. It's not a suggestion, it's a command. It's not optional, it's essential. It's not passive, it's active faith in motion. Waiting on God doesn't mean doing nothing. It means trusting actively, believing persistently, worshiping consistently, and remaining faithful continuously. Luke 18:1 tells us that Jesus told a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up. Always pray, not give up. Keep asking, keep seeking, keep knocking, keep believing. The answer is coming. The breakthrough is near. The promise is being fulfilled. The miracle is in motion. You may not see it yet, but it's coming. You may not feel it yet, but it's moving. You may not sense it yet, but it's manifesting. Every day you wait is one day closer to your answer. Every prayer you pray is accumulating in heaven's courts. Every tear you cry is being collected in heaven's bottles. Every moment you trust is building toward your testimony. Galatians 6-9 promises, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." At the proper time. Not at your preferred time, but at the proper time. And at that proper time, you will reap a harvest if you do not give up. So if you're in a waiting season right now, if you've been praying and haven't seen the answer yet, if you're wondering why God hasn't responded immediately, hear this. Your delay is not your denial. Your wait is not wasted. Your silence is not abandonment. God doesn't answer immediately because He's doing something in you that's more important than what you're asking from Him. He's building character that will sustain the blessing. He's developing faith that will withstand the tests. He's establishing roots that will support the harvest. He's aligning circumstances you can't see. He's orchestrating events you don't know about. He's coordinating people you haven't met. He's preparing blessings you haven't imagined. And when the answer comes, and it will come, you'll understand why it took so long. You'll recognize why the wait was necessary. You'll appreciate the blessing more deeply. You'll worship Him more authentically. You'll trust Him more completely. Your testimony is being written in the waiting room. Your faith is being strengthened in the silence. Your character is being developed in the delay. So don't give up. Don't lose heart. Don't stop believing. Don't quit praying. Don't abandon hope. Hebrews 10:35-36 says, "So do not throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded." You need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what He has promised. Keep your confidence. Maintain your perseverance. Hold onto your faith. Trust His timing. The answer is coming. The breakthrough is near. The promise is being fulfilled. Your wait is almost over. And when you look back on this season, you won't ask, "Why did it take so long?" You'll say, "Thank God for the wait. Because the wait made me who I needed to be to receive what He always intended to give." Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust the God who never answers late. He always answers right on time. God bless you.